Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is in good health. Yes, everyone is enjoying their stay at home. You know, do not think about what is going outside. Just study hard at home. Right. So we'll begin our course of modern Indian history with some certain themes today, right? Certain themes we'll be covering. So what do you think at the very start of modern Indian history, the very important theme is? So we begin our analysis of modern Indian history by one of the very important theme, that is mid 18th century India or 18th century India. 18th century India. Now, during this time, during our course, during our lectures, I would advise you. See, I have already given the file. Did the file reach to you? Have the file? Did you receive the file? Yes, today. Okay, fine. Now, what we'll do is, during our course, we'll use the same file for our lecture. Why? Because you should understand as to what are the important things you are covering in the class and what are the things you have to read it on your own, right? There are some parts which I will be telling you to read in detail on your own, just to make sure that you understand. See, it is not very possible that you go into very deep into the lecture wise, but if you have certain intention to read about that particular topic, I'll provide you the data, the content part about that. For example, if somebody wants to study very deep into the Sikh Empire, the Rajputs, the Marathas, right? So we have the content, one can go, but from our perspective, of our general studies perspective, it is not very important to go in every detail of every topic, right? So whatever the important themes are important for our UPSC perspective, we'll be covering that, right? So to start with, we'll be covering the 18th century India, right? What was the society at that point of time? Who were the rulers during that time, right? Then we'll also see the arrival of Europeans into India. Europeans into India. So these two parts we will be seeing in detail today. And also after that, who among these Europeans succeeded in taking over the reign in India, that we'll be seeing, as in the British establishment of British Empire in India. So how did the Britishers, and why only the Britishers were able to succeed in taking control over the whole territory in India? So the reasons we will be seeing. Also, we'll be seeing the 18th century India, the reasons as to why the big empire. Now, who was ruling India at the very start of 18th century? Yes, tell me, who were ruling India at the... Acha, who wrote in Hindi? Very nice. Very nice. So the Mughals were ruling at the very start. They had the control of whole of India in the 18th century, right? At the very start, the 18th century, the Mughals were ruling India. So what actually happened? We know that British started ruling India after the Mughal Empire declined, right? So in the 18th century India, there might be something that is happening. There might be something that had happened, so that the Mughal dynasty was overtaken by the Britishers, right? So aisa kya hua? What actually happened in the 18th century? So for that to know, we have to understand the society at the point of 18th century India, right? Then we had to have the knowledge as to what happened how was the society in the 18th century India? How was the polity during that time? How was the polity? How was the economy of India during that time? right? How was the economy of India during the 18th century? How many pages to leave? No pages to leave. Just focus. Just write whatever you have. We have just started, and these are the important themes that we'll be covering today. 18th century India and the arrival of Europeans into India, right? So which happened earlier, the 18th century or the arrival of Europeans into India? Which happened earlier? The arrival of Europeans into India. When did the Europeans started to come to India? 1948. Was Vasco da Gama, the first European to arrive into India, or was there some, medieval period, some travelers that were in India also? Yes, there were times, medieval times also. In the medieval times, also you have travelers who came from, from Europeans. In the ancient period also, Chandragupta Maurya, you see the Megasthenes, right? You have Megasthenes. You have Megasthenes in the 3rd century, right? In the 3rd century, he was from Greek. He was from Greek. And where is Greece? Where is Greek? In Europe, right? So we cannot say that Vasco da Gama was the first to, the first Europeans. Was the first Europeans. Yes, that is true that he arrived as a trader in India. So there was the starting point of European as a trading company. The trading company, they started to now follow after Vasco da Gama. Now, why did Vasco da Gama came into India, and why and how did he came to India? There is a big story. We do not have to go into that. So it's all started with Vasco da Gama finding some route to India. Actually, earlier also, when Amerigo founded the America, right? There also they wanted to find India. They wanted to find, but halat aise hue ki they reached America, right? They reached America, and that is how they founded the continent of America, Amerigo, right? And after that, they thought that this Portuguese, they were very providing money to their traders and all, to know that, to find routes. Now the question is, why did they wanted to find a route in the sea, through the sea route? Why? Because if you take the map of the world, and whatever I am saying to you, you just take a handy notes, right? Right, anywhere, make your brainstorming, make some sketch of what I am saying, write small words, but make sure that whatever we are discussing in the lectures is in your notes. Why? Because see, this PDF will be with you, so that you understand what our topic is, what the detail of every lecture would be. I would be providing you, but what we will be discussing is directly from the exam perspective of understanding the concepts. Now, if you take the world map, this is India, and this is Europe over here, right? This is Europe over here, and we are now, this was connected through Constantinople over here, right? Constantinople over here. Sir, make notes like yeah, make running notes. Make running notes. Ravi, I don't know what you are trying to say, but you should make running notes. See, this is a modern India lecture. So here there is something called as visual effects that you will need to see time and again, and you need to understand the concepts and the background of every topic. See, you can make notes. For example, if I'm telling you why the Europeans entered, wanted to find the sea routes. So sea routes. So sea routes, you can write over here sea routes. That was, you can write Portuguese to arrive first. Portuguese to arrive first. then you will write Vasco da Gama, Vasco da Gama, Vasco da Gama. Then you will write, why they were found, because here Arabs started to take control of this, land trade. So Arabs taking control of land, then finding alternatives. So this way also you can make short notes. Not necessary you write, you write all in, point wise. Why? Because this is something that will help you in fast revisions. Make small diagrams such as this. Okay, so it's a discretion of yours. You can make whatever notes you in whatever form you can write your own notes, but make sure that they are crisp enough to revise you again and again. Make sure, because these are notes. See, material to I will be providing you after each and every lecture, before each and every lecture, but the ongoing notes, right? Ongoing notes, you have to make it very crisp, so that you make sure that you have to revise it in a very short period. Okay, now we are understanding as to why the Europeans, they were very very encouraging in finding the sea route. Why? Because see, as the Arabs became very strong, so what they did, they disturbed the trade route that was going from Greece to India, to subcontinent. जो subcontinent का trade route था, that was disturbed by this strength of this Arab people. Why? Because they started extracting more money from this people who are entering through these Arab nations, right? So what will do? So their profit was, they were losing some profit, right? They were becoming the third handlers. The third handlers means first handler is the one who are selling it. So they were becoming the merchants kind of a people. So that is why they were very interested in finding the sea routes, so that the time can be reduced, and also they can bypass the system of Arabs making them pay money, right? So that is why they were interested in finding the various sea routes. Then what happened is, Portuguese were the first who tried to settle into India. Now when they settled into India, 1498 was the first time when Vasco da Gama, he entered into India at port of Calicut. Then the ruler at Calicut, Zamorin, right? Zamorin, he welcomed him. He told him that yes, no, we are coming from Europe, we are coming from Portuguese. So let us give us some place. So give us some place to start a factory over here. Now, what was the factory they were establishing? The factories at that time means just a system of godowns. Just a system of godowns, where name of the ruler in Calicut, Zamorin. Zamorin, Zamorin, Zamorin. So this wanted to establish some kind of factory. Now, what is the factory? It means, it just means a trading port or a godown kind of a thing. So they can buy some of the materials in India. They can store in the trading factory over there, and whenever their ships are arriving over here, they can send it back to their own country. And this is how, and by selling it at a higher price in their country, they can get maximum profit. So this was the idea behind establishing a trading port in India at various places. Now, first the Portuguese came, then the Dutch came, then the English came, and then the French came, right? So these way, the different kind of countries started promoting their merchants into India. Why? Because they wanted to buy some kind of some kind of spices from India. Now, why spices? They wanted to bring some spices which was very highly demanded in, which was in high demand in Europe. Now, why do you think spices are important? Yes. What is the importance for cold place for meat preservation? I guess very nice, Tanmay. You're spot on. Okay. See, in European countries, you cannot dwell only on two vegetarian foodstuffs, but the non-vegetarian foodstuffs are also in demand. So for meat purpose, for storage purpose, the spices are needed for as preservatives, and also it gives so good taste to the food, and that is why it was in highly demand in the European countries. So whatever price they were asking, they were getting more than the demanded price for the spices. Also, there were many other products also which were sold from India, which were exported from India. We will all see that in very detail. So you understood as to why they were coming to India. Now, as this Europeans started coming into India, they brought in along with them their culture also. So along with the physical presence, they also brought in their ideas. Yes, their ideas. They brought in their culture. They brought in their culture. They brought in their way of administration. Way of administration. The style of administration was brought into the Indian. So now, did they came in a very single person came and he traded and he went? No, they tried to establish some kind of a colony in India. Now, what is this colony means? Colony means hamare colony ki tarah, right? The colony which we have here only, same kind of a, it's a settlement kind of a thing, right? A settlement kind of a thing. So that was known as a colony. Now, what they started to do? Now, after establishing their own homes, houses, right? They also started their own education system. Now they started that if there should be no fear from outside, and that is why at many places they also started fortifying these places. Fortifying, what do you mean by fortifying? Fortifying means a compound wall kind of a thing to protect themselves from the external fears, right? So fortification was something that was dwell. Now, to manage this kind of a system, they what they did is they brought in some kind of administration setup. See, what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand as to the Europeans. They did not just arrived in India, but they arrived with larger set of rules, the larger set of ideas, larger set of a culture, larger set of the administrative setup, and which helped them in governing a larger part of the territory in a very nice manner. Which in India, what actually had happened was India was not very organized. So these Europeans, they brought in some kind of organized polity. Organized polity into India. Someone is Karun is writing mid 18th century is living, sir. Why? Because we are first trying to understand that Europeans are arriving earlier than the 18th century, right? They are arriving at 1498. Some arrived in the 16th century, right? By the start of the 17th century, all of the Europeans are arriving into India. We are just trying to know as to how did they came and how did they try to settle themselves into India. And then we will be coming towards the mid 18th century India, because you have to know as to who were the parallel systems that Mughals were facing in the 18th century India. Right? Okay, Karun. ठीक है. Yeah. So this is a nice way that whatever doubts you have during your lectures, you just put it into the comment section, right? So that everyone also get to know about what your way of thinking is, whatever doubts you have. Okay, understood till this now? This is clear, everyone? Yeah. So we have understood that Europeans aate hain. We have understood the order also, right? We have understood the order also. Now they are trying to set up some kind of administrative setup. Also, they try to bring various elements into India. For example, the printing press. Why to make ease their life? They had there something in Europe. Now they are trying to replicate that in India also. So the printing press, then whatever suits the climate over here. For example, the tea culture, the coconuts, right? The coconuts and different types of crops that were suitable for the Indian climate. They tried here and made a lot of profits from that. So we'll be seeing into that one by one. So yeah, so before starting, remember this Mark Twain, a very, who Mark Twain was? Mark Twain? Nobody? Can anybody research? A very good author, a journalist, you can say, a writer. So Mark Twain says that India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech. Why I am telling you this is because it summarized the modern India in a very precise way. The mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great grandmother of tradition. One most valuable and most artistic materials in the history of man are treasured up in India only. So this is I just wanted to share with you regarding Mark Twain. Now we will be first, yeah. So these are the topics that we'll be covering over here in today's lecture. The decline of the themes, very important theme are 18th century India, British expansion and consolidation. Before that, the arrivals of Europeans in India, right? And then we'll learn about how did the Britishers, but it's not the right, sir. Human races evolved from Africa. It's not about human races. See, do not take it very technically. Okay, Anurag, do not take it very technically. Just I wanted to share that what these writers think about what India is. Yes, it's a literary piece. Everything cannot be dealt very technically. So where may we first? Yeah, first we'll study about the arrivals of Europeans into India, right? Okay. So the first, see what is important in when you learn this mid 18th century India and the British expansion, basically the arrival of Europeans. If you analyze the previous year questions from 2000 till 2005, a lot of questions on this segment were from the preliminary section, right? Did you receive the PDF? I guess I have shared it, right? It's already shared now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So till 2005, 2006, a lot of questions on this were from the preliminary section. But right from 2016 or 2015, you can also say 2015. The impact of this part on the preliminary examination is less, and they are trying to make you understand that this is an important theme, right? So it is very important from your main examination perspective. For example, what was the question that was asked in the main examination? main examination में सबसे important question they had asked is why the mid 18th century, the mid 18th century, mid 18th century was a specter of fragmented polity. Write this question: why the mid 18th century was the specter of fragmented polity. Fragmented polity. So this was the question in 2017 main examination, right? Then again, one of the important theme is the decline of Mughal Empire in India, right? The decline of Mughal Empire in India. So the question was, it was more personal. It was more personal. The reasons were more personal than external. Comment: more personal than external. See, during the lectures, I would be giving more questions to you on the main perspective as well as your preliminary examination. So try to, write in very short somewhere else in bigger part that, this is the question, main question, prelims question, practice question. It was more personal than external. Okay, so this kind of a question are coming in your main examination paper. Now, what was the preliminary question that were coming to you? Mughal decline. Yes, on Mughal decline, it was more personal than external. So the question was, the decline, the reasons for Mughal decline were more personal centric than external centric, or you can write the external factors. Causes behind Mughal decline. Yes, Vishal, you're right. It was basically the causes behind Mughal. So I'll rub this once. See, we'll not rush into completion of anything, right? I will not rush into completion until and unless I think that, this kind of a theme is completed. Until and unless you are very much stronger in that particular themes, right? Video is not clear. Which video is not clear? My video. Is it so? Is it for everyone? This video issue? It's fine. Okay. Karun, I guess your internet issue, glitching. No, sir, it's fine. Chalo. Okay. Yeah, and from the main now we are learning about we are learning about the arrivals of Europeans. Arrival of Europeans. What are the questions they are asking on this main examination question? No. Preliminary question 2005 से पहले पूछा था. What was the question? What is the chronology of arrivals of Europeans into India? Right? This is the question. Who were the rulers? Who arrived first? Who arrived later? This was not the question. UPSC will not ask you into very detail some of the very, very simple, difficult facts. Right? They are testing your concepts. Again, I am emphasizing on this concepts. Yeah. So arrival of Europeans into India. So the Portuguese were the first to arrive into India. And what did they came for? Mainly spices. Why did they came? Through the trade route, that also we have seen, because they did not want to pay more amount to the Arabs, right? More amount to the Arabs. Now, how did they came to India? Now, so the Vasco da Gama, he arrived into Calicut. Can you see this Calicut? He arrived at Calicut and opened a trading port in Kochi. Yeah. And how did they arrive? All the way from the south tip of Africa, right? South tip of Africa to the western coast of India in the southern coast of India. Cape of Good Hope se aate hain. Yes, very nice. So 1498 is the time, right? 1498. So he was received by Zamorin. He was received by Zamorin, the ruler of Calicut. Then he opened a factory at Kochi. He opened a factory at Kochi. Now, how was the factory? What was the factory, and what did they, manufactured over there? Did they manufacture anything in Kochi? Did they manufacture in the factory anything? The answer is no, right? It was just a warehouse, a godown, a storehouse, right? So you can write over there ki factory is equal, factory during that time equals to a storehouse, a warehouse, right? So this was the case in the, so now he came, so now they were started to getting more profits, the thing he bought, for example, at 1 rupee, he got almost 20 times profit in the European market for the same. He got 20 times profit, right? 20 times used to get the profit. And now why won't other people would come and settle there? So many of the merchants were promoted by this Portuguese. They were allowed to go, settle there. So they established a colony over there, right? So in 1505, the government of Portuguese, that is the king of Portuguese, he appointed. Did they sell anything? See, instead of selling anything, they were getting more profits on buying from India and selling it to Europe. Right now. Yes, obviously they started selling their things also in Europe, but more profit is buying something and selling it at their own place. And cheaper rate they are getting everything, and at a higher price they are selling everything. Now, so in 1505, you see now in 7 to 8 years only, Portuguese rulers, they have understood that there is something very nice. So let us now, they have understood that there is a lack of administration in the country over there, the area over there. Why? Because right now, who were the rulers during this time? Who were the rulers? 1505 se leke to 1509. No, the Mughals were not there. Mughals started ruling India after Battle of Panipat, right? 1526, when Babur, before this period, there were Sultanate, there were Delhi Sultanate that were ruling, and in the south there were the Bijapur, right? The Bijapur Empire that was ruling in the south, the Bijapurs. So so it was 1526 when the Mughals started ruling India. After Babur won in the Battle of Panipat, right? In the Battle of Panipat. So where were we? Kahan the hum? So see, the names are not very important as to kaun tha ye, kya tha, right? Just try to understand the concepts over here. Now they are coming, now they are trying to establish their own set of rules, own set of administration into the part which they are settling. So nice, 1505, the king of Portugal appoints a governor in India. Who was the governor? Francisco de Almeida. Even if you go towards this kind of surnames, again you will find in many parts of the Konkan area, right? In today's Konkan area, the Almeidas. Yes. So now what they started? They started a blue water policy. Is he the first one? Yes, he is the first governor who was appointed as a governor in India. First Portuguese governor. Okay, first Portuguese governor. Now, but the real founder was Alfonso de Albuquerque, right? So he was the real founder. Why? Because not only the Kochi part, but he also set up his rule in Goa, in Diu Daman, right, by defeating the Sultan of Bijapur. By Sultan of Bijapur. So this is how the Portuguese, they expanded themselves. They expanded themselves into the India, right? So, but during this time, they developed a Carta system. They developed a Carta system. Now, what is this Carta system? That if you do not have to pass, if you do not have a pass to enter into some kind of a designated water territory, if you do not have a pass, then you have to pay the Portuguese who have a port or a trading post over there. Yani ki if you want to go here, you will have to pay us. And if you're not paying us, we will destroy your ships. So this was a blue water policy that was developed by the Portuguese. Okay? A very important Carta system. Very important Carta system. Now, why they are doing this? Just to establish a supremacy in the Arabian Sea over here, the Indian Ocean over here. Understood? इतना पार्ट समझ में आया सबको? Naval power, monopoly over trade. See, this is everything in the world is economy. Everything you do is economy. Even if you consider the land, it is for economy. Paisa, economy. Right? So that time also they thought of economy and how to increase economy through money. Where will they get it from? Through establishing a naval supremacy. A naval supremacy. Right? So this is very important development that the Portuguese did. Then one after the other, they had different governors that were there in India during that time, right? And these are the different places at which Portuguese were successful in establishing a trading port in India. You take Diu, you take Daman, you take Dadra Nagar Haveli, you have Salsette, Chaul, Goa, Mangalore, Calicut, Kochi. Then you have Lakshadweep, you have Maldives over here, you have Nagapattinam, Masulipatanam. So everywhere you see the Portuguese were ruling in India. One very interesting thing about Portuguese ruling in India were they were the first one to arrive in India and they were the last to go away from India. Yes, this story is very famous. Goa, 1961. Goa, they left Goa in 1961 as a ruling agent, right? As a ruling agent. Yes, now also we have a lot of Portuguese ancestors in India. Still the culture is there of Portuguese. But talking about culture, what significance do you find in Portuguese coming to India? Yes, anybody? Anybody? What significance you find in Portuguese? Yes, the printing press is very, very important. Significance that the Portuguese brought to India was the naval power. So other rulers during that time also understood that naval power is so important, right? It is so important. So the naval power, the use of cannons. Portuguese ship carried cannons. What is cannons? तोफ, है ना? The तोफ, हिंदी में हम उसे तोफ कहते हैं. So Portuguese brought in the printing press. The missionaries, the Christian missionaries, they started schoolings in India, and that is how people got to know about what rationality is, because scientific education was something that was promoted by this scientific education, right? Now they brought in not only something called as the arms and ammunitions, but also some kind of cropping pattern to cropping pattern, various fruits, crops, vegetables were brought to India, potato, the pineapples, you see papayas. Now you see, even if you see the Portuguese, they have a lot of, do they have the coastal area along with it? The Portuguese? Do Portuguese at that time had the, is that very close to coastal area, the Mediterranean Sea? Yes. So did the knowledge back home help them? Yes. So the knowledge about the soil, about what we can grow, about the profitability, so this helped the Portuguese. So various crops such as potato, sweet potato, tobacco, corn, chili, pineapple, papaya, lychee, groundnuts, cashew, almonds, etc. So you find this kind of crops, vegetables were introduced by Portuguese into India. And why did they not last for a very long period of time? As in for a longer territory, because they were not supportive of the religious tolerance, right? They were intolerant towards the growing different religions in India, not very supportive. So religious policies were not very supportive, and also again, time and again, they invited troubles by fighting against the Bijapur, by fighting against the Marathas during that time. So that we will be seeing when we will be coming towards the rivalries of this, right? But a decline of Portuguese for a very larger part of area in India was only because they were intolerant towards different dynasties, right? Different people, different religions. Why? Because you see some kind of policies in British which dwelt into binding with people, making rulers, trusting the rulers, making alliances with the local rulers. So this is something that is not seen in the policies of the Portuguese. So yes, so this is about the Portuguese overall. This is about the Portuguese overall. Now after that came the Dutch. Now who are these Dutch people? Who are these Dutch people? Which country do this Dutch belong to? The Dutch. See, Portuguese are like Portuguese, the country which is Portuguese. Yes, the Dutch means the Netherlands. The Netherlands. They are also called the Holland, right? Holland by the name of the dynasty which was very prominent in the Netherlands, or the Dutch. Wales, Holland mein Wales, no, Wales is more of a British kind of a thing. Anurag, English, yeah, it is more of a English. The one who sees cricket a lot knows about this, Wales, Netherlands, Holland, the Dutch, because these terminologies are more often than not used in cricket a lot in current scenarios. Wales is more Irish, okay, yeah. Now the Dutch came, not very significant to talk about the Dutch in India. Yes, they tried to settle at different places in Andhra, in South India, the Masulipatanam in Andhra. So where is Masuli? Okay. Where is Masulipatanam? In Andhra. Then you have the factories of Dutch developed in Nagapattinam also. So you see over here, is it visible? Yeah, now it's visible, right? Yeah, you see major factories are mostly at the coastal areas, and there was a reason for this. So that trading with, they do not have to pay for any of the rulers, any other rulers who are in the interior part. and they do not wanted to get involved or indulge into any kind of a war. And even if they are getting involved into any war, they have an escape rule which is very short, which is through the navy, through the sea route, right? So most of the trading ports or the factories, the godowns, or the warehouse of these people were at the coastal areas, right? At the coastal area. So you have Masulipatanam over here. So Dutch also founded their first, early factories in Masulipatanam, in Nagapattinam over here. You know, you see over here Nagapattinam. So the first factories, first of the early factories of this Dutch were in Nagapattinam, right? But they had a very big rivalry against the English, against the English, and they do not, they were not very strong against the Dutch, against the English at that time. So serious challenge to their commercial interest. So Anglo-Dutch War, it happened in 1670s, where the English, defeated the Dutch over there, right? English were defeated, not very significant of the Dutch in India. Then comes the English. So after the Portuguese, you have the Dutch. They are arriving in India when 1596, right? 1596 they are arriving in India, and after that you have the English. Now English, they have a very interesting story. What happened was, this Anglo-Dutch, they were in continuous wars at the different parts of the continents also, in different continents also. Now, when this Dutch, they came to India, so because of them, the once the settlement between English, that is the Britain, and the Dutch was done, so in 1599, only, the English merchants, they wanted to come to India only for trading. But there was a suljhav or trade-off between the Dutch and the English. And so the Dutch requested that do not send anyone, because we are trading into India. But again, at different parts in the other continents, the rivalry started in 1599. So to which Dutch a lesson. The English were from England. Yes, English were from England. So now a charter was sent. Now you go, you have a permission to establish a trading company and trade with India. So a charter was given by Queen Elizabeth. So on December 31st, 1600, Queen Elizabeth issued a charter with rights exclusively to a single company. One single company was there, and the name of the company was the East India Company. But sir, वो चार्टर तो इंग्लैंड के लिए था ना, डच को क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? No, it was not कि इंग्लैंड को, कि डच को क्या फर्क पड़ेगा. It was because if the English companies are starting to trade with India, it gives a high competition to the other European market. Because English was very strong at the time. Okay, Yashwardhan. Now a charter was given which was exclusive right to one single company, and this was known as Magna Carta. So so you see over here these, can you read that? I also cannot read, it was so short, but yes, this is the charter that was given. Now, how did they arrive in India is one of the important thing, because this question was there in 2011 prelims, 2021 prelims, as in the uh, first quarter of the 17th century, that is till 1625. See, I do not know what triggered the UPSC to ask such kind of question, but the question was very interesting, that in the first quarter of the 17th century, as in till 1625, which of the places did East India Company establish their trading or their companies? Yeah, till 1625. Okay. Now what happened was, see, you know that in the question was till 1625, the British East India Company established their fort or their factories at which locations? At how many locations? Which locations? So the options were there, right? Only one option was there. Now, see, British tried to take permission from the Mughals to establish their company at various places in India, but it was opposed by many of the nobles in the Mughal. See, at that time, Jahangir was the one who was ruling India, and he had some cordial relations with some Portuguese. They have established some good relations. So Portuguese were opposing the establishment of British East India Company in India. ठीक है, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को अपोज कर रहे थे. ऑल्सो मेनी ऑफ द नोबल्स जो होते हैं, द मिनिस्टर्स इन जहांगीर्स कोर्ट, they were also opposing. And it happened that one of the stories says that if you read different books of Britishers, different books of Indian history, you will find some of the very interesting stories. One of the interesting stories says that when first Hawkins, he first went earlier to ask permissions to Jahangir for establishing a factory, a trading port. So he brought some gifts, as it was a tradition in England, right? He brought some gift. So and he was so opposed in India, that from going from a place to another place, this Hawkins, he took 25 bodyguards with him. And even after arriving at the Mughal palace, the gift before going to Jahangir's hand was unwrapped in a very different way. Was unwrapped, it was torn, as they feared that there must be some kind of a bomb in that, some kind of arms and ammunition that is stored in them to kill the Mughal emperor. So this was the fear. Yes, that is very true. As in, this is true from the books itself. This is a story. There are many stories such as that. So this is one of the stories. So let us take the story in front. Now in 1608, Captain Hawkins, was a representative that was sent by English, and this is when he got the permission for establishing a company. In 1611, he started trading at Masulipatanam. But it was in 1613. It was in 1613 that the permission to establish a factory was given at Surat. Okay. At Masulipatanam, what they were doing? They were just trading. And then later they established there in 1616. So first who was there? Where did they establish? Surat. Then at Masulipatanam. So the question there was in the 2021, it was that before 1625 where it was. So it was in Surat and Masulipatanam. So Bharuch is very close to Surat. Bharuch is also a port that is very close to Surat. Now, so this is how the development of the British in India started. Now, one of the very important thing was the establishment of a port in Bombay. How did Bombay reached into the hands of this English? Now yes, the Dahej mein mila tha. You know, the Dahej system, a lot of English, they say, you know, it is an Indian tradition, bad tradition, dowry system, right? So you see over here a reflection of the dowry in the British tradition also. So the British king Charles, he married the Portuguese princess, and this was given as to Dahej, to the dowry to the British prince, right? The British prince, and he gave on lease for you know, on lease to the East India Company. He gave on lease to the East India Company. So this is how Bombay came into the hands of the East India Company. Understood, everyone? Understood? See, the stories, they will make you remember the things. The stories will make you remember the things, and this is how the this, you know, the East India Company progress. Yes, these are notes only. Okay, these are notes only. You just have to see whatever I am telling in class, the important words, you just have to make a running notes. Modern India is so big. It's so big. It is very difficult to make you know, difficult to make notes that would include every part, because every point is a note in itself. So how do we do it? Make running notes and make it crisp whenever you read the next time, whenever you need the next time. For example, this is something, what material I have given is a material that you need to just read once, and what I am telling you is the notes that you will have to make it from after you read it once. So make running notes and try to solve as many questions as you can. And the questions that you solve, the if it's a preliminary question, that will become your notes. If it's a main examination question, the answer to that will become your notes. Okay. So try to solve questions. The more questions you solve, that should be part of your notes. Okay. Now see what we are trying to do here. What we are trying to do here is, we are trying to understand as to how did the Britishers, they established a so big rule in India. First, what they did, they established a trading company here, right? Then they purchased Bombay. Then also from there, they obtained the permission by paying some amount to establishing a trading port at in near Chennai, Madras, St. George, right? First at Masulipatanam, then at St. George in Madras, right? So this is how they established. They came in western side, they came in the southern side, right? And now they are planning to move into Bengal, the richest region during that time, right? Why? Because not only it did have, so we'll see that. Okay, so we are trying to understand how did they manage to expand their you know, movement in India first, then their rule in India. So foothold in Bengal. So who was ruling in Bengal during the time? That also will be coming. So Shah Shuja, the Subedar of Bengal, the Mughal ka Subedar. Mughal used to appoint various rulers during that time. So one of the Subedars was posted in Bengal. Who was that? Shah Shuja. So from him, you know, he allowed the English to trade in Bengal. Why did he? Because they gave him some amount कि आप इतना पैसा रख लो और हमें ट्रेड करने दो, right? And this is how the trading started. This is how the trading of the British East India Company started in India. And afterwards, in 1698, again they increased the amount. He said that, you take this amount annually and let us have the zamindari right of certain areas, which was the Satanati, right? The Sutanuti, Gobindanagar and Kalikata, which became the hub of today's Calcutta, right? Today's Calcutta. So very small places near Calcutta during that time, Gobindpur, the Sutanuti and the Kalikata. So iska jo zamindari rights hai wo unko mil gaya, right? Now in 1700 they fortified this place. The fortified settlement they named is at Fort William, right? Fort William, right? Fort William. And again afterwards they issued various permissions from the Mughal Empire. So this is how the tradition went on for establishing the rule in India. Okay. Now the French came afterwards. The French came the last in 1667. The French were the last one to arrive in India. French were the last one to arrive. There is a very big difference in the way the French came to India and the way the English came to India. The English came in the form of the East India Company, a trading company which was totally private, but which was supported by the British government, which was supported as in the support was present ki aap jao hum tumhare piche hai, right? But here the French company which arrived in India was a government based company. In it that the shares of the government were involved, the stakes of the government was there. So that is why it was getting trouble from the government which is there in France. And now you see after that French Revolution and all, so a lot of troubles, whatever they were inviting, this company was getting into trouble, right? So yes, this was the condition on which the French arrived in India. Now where did they arrive in India? So 1667 they set up a factory in Surat. Why? Because it was very close to the coast area. And another one which today is, do you know where is Pondicherry? सबको पता है where is Pondicherry? South India, which near Chennai. How many so Pondicherry is part of how many states? Can anyone tell me how many states? Yeah, so it's a homework to you. Find out the locations of Pondicherry. Mahe, Yannam, Pondicherry and Karaikal. Yes. So these are in 3 states: Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Yes. So 3 states it is there. So at that place you have the French settlements. So there were French settlements over there, right? So this so now you have understood that yes, British came to India in Europeans came to India. So now let us revise in a very, very fast and short way. Who were the first to arrive? Yes, everyone, I want an interactive. Let us discuss. Let us revise it fast. Let us revise fast. Portuguese, yes. What is the order of arrival of the Europeans into India? PDEF. Yeah. Portuguese, Dutch, English, and Then French chronology, yes, PDEF. So it is very important to know. Acha, who was, what is the Carta system associated with? Who, the Carta system? It's a license, the pass system, blue water policy, very nice. Naval policy, whose policy it is? Whose policy? It is supremacy in Indian port, the Portuguese policy. Very nice, very nice. So this is how you revise. Okay? This is how you brainstorm everything. Once you are once you have read for the last 1.5 hours, do go to a page and in a very small bracket, do a round and revision 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So around that circle, you mark that yes, right in middle, Carta system. So blue water policy. Second one, see this way. I am talking about this way. This way you have to revise. Right here, the Carta system. Carta system. What are the 5 important keywords associated with Carta system? It was a Portuguese. So it is a naval policy. Naval policy to have supremacy. A blue water policy. Blue water system, if you remember the governor, the license, the governor's name, Almeida, right? So this way you have to revise. And this is something is called as note making. Note making doesn't mean you write everything. You write as crisp as you can. मैं लिखता क्यों हूं? Because मैं भूल ना जाऊं, right? जो मुझे याद है वो मैं क्यों लिखूं? Why should I write it? Which I remember everything, which is already there in your mind. Do not make a note of everything. Understood, everybody? Shall I move forward? Yeah. What are the things, significance of Portuguese in India? Portuguese in India, fast. 4, 5 important significance. What are the things they brought to India? Printing press, very nice. Naval power, very nice. Cropping pattern, cannons, naval printing press, cannon, tobacco. Which are the crops that they introduced in India? Crops, fast. Papaya, potato, pineapple, tobacco, lychee, very nice. Maize, corn, yeah, corn, almond, lychee, chili. America, someone wrote America. Sandeep. Cashews, okay, yeah, very nice. Now yeah, maize in America, okay. Now that we have understood that Europeans aate hain, India mein settle hote hain, right? They are settling into India. Now comes the 18th century India, right? 18th century India, which is from 1700 to 1799, right? 1799. This is the 18th century phase. Now, during that time, Mughals were the one who were centrally ruling India. But how did the society was there in the 17th century, 18th century India? What were the different things? Can you just, can we just give it a think about, can we give it a, how the society was there? How the society was there? Fragmented? Was it very rich society at the time? It was not very rich society. Poor, the society was poor people. What was the economy during this time? Economy, main ingredient of economy, agriculture. Yeah, agriculture. Was agriculture very rich? Rich in terms of the technology, in terms of production? No, the answer is no. Self-sufficient, you cannot call it a very self-sufficient, but yes, it was doing, people were eating, producing, and they were also doing well. So agriculture, but Indian agriculture also formed a lot part of the export of the total world. A larger part of the export around the world consisted of Indian agriculture. What about the handicrafts? The traditional Indian handicraft, was it very well known in the world? Was it very well known? Yes, it was very, very rich. Indian handicrafts. It was so rich that they used to pay n number of amount to the handicrafts in India. Why? Because luxury. See, everywhere in Europe, the countries were ruled by rulers. That had dynasties, and they loved the luxurious items, the handmade items. The handmade items. So they were in demand. So handicraft items were very much on demand. So we have seen economy, we have seen the way of people used to live. Not where many of the people lived in cities. In cities, most of the people lived in village system, right? So the village level was much developed in India at that time. How was the society in terms of distinguish, in terms of division of the people? Was the Varna system seen? Or was the division in terms of caste seen into India? The division system, yes, the division system was there. Inequality was there in India. Inequality was there in India. You see, the women were faced with the parda system, right? The education system was not very prominent. Who were educated during that time? Only the rich people, the Maharajas, the sultans, their people, and whosoever the religious kind of a education was given at different places. Education, for example, the madrasas, they used to give some kind of education. The temples, they used to provide education. The pathshalas, the gurushalas, the gurukuls, this was the education that was prominent in the India during the 18th century, right? So this was the societal aspect. You also make notes in the same way. Do not write line by line कि आपको फिर पढ़ने में दिक्कत लगेगी, and you feel that your note is so much big, sir, I cannot study so much of notes to make. No, history is about understanding what was the situation over there, what happened, and how did it escalate. बस इतना ही. Okay, so India on the eve of British conquest. So we have understood how the society was there. Yeah, in terms of so understood this. So this is regarding the society. Now, what was the polity during that time? Polity during that time. Yeah, polity during that time. Fragmented. Fragmented. It started fragmenting. No tea as well. Yeah, no tea as well. But coffee was there. Coffee was there. Have you ever found how coffee came to India? Very interesting. Mysore se? No. Baba Budan. Arab. Yeah, it came from the north part of Africa, I guess. North part of Africa se aati hai, through Arabs, through traders. Through traders only they came to India. Yeah, so read about how coffee came to India. We have on YouTube and all, you will get very nice you'll get very nice videos about that. Okay, now we will understand about the political structure in India during the 18th century. During the 18th century. During the 18th century. See, Mughals were ruling India from 1526. From 1526. अच्छा जब बस हो गया कॉफी के बारे में, ठीक है, we'll go into detail after some many time. So right now we'll focus on what was the political structure in the 18th century. Mughals were ruling from 1526, right? Now as Aurangzeb started ruling in taking the empire in his hand, so his policies, his policies were very anti-religious. He was very intolerant towards different religion. Also, he was very intolerant towards the Deccan region. So whenever there was a development in the Deccan region, used to get anxious, and he used to send a lot of his troops towards the Deccan, go there, and because taking Marathas were taking a stronghold in the Deccan, in the Bijapur. After the Bijapur got fragmented in the five dynasties. The which 5 dynasties the Bijapur broke out to? You had the, so see here, this is India. So here the Bijapur dynasty was there. And it broke out to Ahmednagar, the Berar region, the Bahmani kingdom I am talking about, the Bahmani kingdom, the Bijapur, the Golconda, and the Bidar, region, and the Bidar. So these 5 kingdoms, and among them the Marathas, they started to evolve. So you see there was a lot of difficulties for the Mughals in the Deccan that was presented. So here is the Mughal, right? Here is the Mughal at the center. So a lot of difficulties were provided by these dynasties in the Deccan, to the Mughals. Badshah was dependent on different regions, Sardars for security and army. Okay. So he was very interested in this Deccan region. He wanted a stable over there. So what Aurangzeb, he was very intolerant among this. Before Aurangzeb, what happened was every even Shah Jahan, Jahangir, even Akbar, what they did was they made it a alliance with different rulers. They made alliances, but Aurangzeb was altogether a different personality. He was very intolerant towards different religion, right? Intolerant towards different religion, and also he was intolerant towards these different dynasties. So he did not make a lot of alliance, and this is how he invited difficulties. And as during the Aurangzeb time only, the Mughal Empire started taking a decline itself. So he was a very strong leader. Though he was individually very strong, he created some kind of disturbances at the periphery. What do you mean by periphery? Along the empire ka jo end wala part hai, that is called as periphery, at the end. So this periphery mein there was instability. There was instability at the periphery. So instability at the periphery. Also his persona was not very loved by the rulers at different places, so that they did not make an alliance with him. So the Mughal decline started during the time of Aurangzeb only, and after the death of So after death of Aurangzeb in 1707, ये जो decline था, that started gradually declining now. See, only a glimpses was seen during the reign of Aurangzeb, but after then the decline started gradually, and as you reach 1750s, it was all British, and at other places it was all Marathas that were taking control of whole of the territories. And if you see towards the various battles, important battles such as Battle of Plassey, Buxar ke battle ke baad to they, British, they imposed a policy on the emperor himself कि you will be under some prison with us. Okay. So this is how the this polity was there in the start of the 18th century. Now, was this the only reason that the Mughals started declining? The answer is no. So there are some other reasons too as to why the Mughal Empire started declining. So this is one is the personal centric reason. See, many of the historians that differ as to why the Mughal declined. Some say that it was only external reason. Some say it was internal reasons. Some say it was just person-centric reason. But we have to take all the reasons into conclusion. Yes, there were some person-centric reason, some internal reasons, and some external reasons. Why personal-centric reason is because the personality of Aurangzeb. He was intolerant towards other religion. He was intolerant towards the other dynastic rulers. That is why he created more enemies than friends. Second personal centric reason is the weak emperors after the Aurangzeb. Write down, right? We have to write this point now. Second point is the weak personalities after the Aurangzeb. See, Aurangzeb himself was very strong. He himself was a very strong leader. And though he invited troubles during his time, it had, the empire did not shake. But after the after the Aurangzeb, the weak personality started coming up. There were Mughal emperors such as Shah Alam, right? Muhammad Shah, whom they termed as, and many of their nobles only termed it as Rangila Raja. Rangila Raja, they used to tell him because he used to indulge into different activities, drinking every day and all. So yes, so that is why they used to also before that Bahadur Shah, the nobles used to term him as Shah-e-Bekhabar. Shah-e-Bekhabar means who do not have any khabar about what is going in the courtroom and what is going in the empire. So this is how they used to dictate this, this Mughal emperors. Now what we'll be seeing is what are the different challenges. So we have seen one reason, personal centric reason. The second thing was the external reasons. Why external? You see that Inca, all this focused were on how to enjoy, yes, how to take care of the Deccan region, and nobody gave attention to the western borders, northwestern borders, where their empire was not secured. So from this area, the Afghanis, they tried to enter into India. They entered into India, they looted India, they went back. They came to India, they looted India, again they went back. Why did they looted India? Because they wanted money. And they knew that India had lot of money. Sone ki chidiya, very nice. सोने की चिड़िया है इंडिया, तो सोने के अंडे तो देगी ही. right? So ये अंडे चुराने के लिए कौन पहुंचे? The Afghanis, right? The Afghanis, and in the form of, so first Nadir Shah, yes, very nice. The Afghan ruler Nadir Shah, he came in 1738. He came in 1738. 38, Nadir Shah, the Persian emperor, attacked India in 1738, and he took the peacock throne. You see, this is the peacock throne, and he also took the Kohinoor diamond. Kohinoor diamond, the one अभी तक जो इंडिया ढूंढ रहा है. Yes, the Kohinoor का हीरा. So you understand. So it was so weak that rulers came. The Persian ruler came. Then again, have anyone seen Panipat? The movie I am talking, Panipat. Yes. So Panipat, third battle of Panipat happened between the Marathas and the Abdali, Ahmad Shah Abdali. So how will you remember this? So this is something. So Ahmad Shah Abdali, the successor of Nadir Shah, he again attacked India in 1757, and he again looted India, and he placed some person as governor. कि उनका हाँ भाई, you be there as my representative. But when Marathas became stronger, they threw him away, and that is why again Abdali came to fight against the Marathas in the Battle of Panipat. This was also a question in 2000. In 1999, UPSC, why did Abdali fought against the Marathas? पहले तो, see, first he came, he looted India in 1757, and he went back. But before going back, he put his governor in place in India. But the Marathas threw that governor out of their way, and this is why in revenge Abdali came to fight against this Marathas. And who is this Abdali? This Abdali, you might be knowing this Abdali, right? Yes. So if you watch the Battle of Panipat, in the Battle of the movie Panipat, there this role was performed by. Sir, there was a question why this battle took place in Panipat. What is the reason behind? Yes, we'll come to that also. The geographical significance of Panipat. We'll come to that also. But you see this Kohinoor diamond, right? So Abdali defeated the Marathas in the third Battle of Panipat. So you understand over here. So the external reasons are understood. Is the external reason understood? See, one is the personal centric reason that you have understood. Second is the external reasons, because a lot of why the decline of Mughal took place, because looting of the empire by this Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali, this had weakened the Mughal empire financially. बहुत loss हो गया था. Now there are also some internal reasons as to say. What were the internal reasons? Internal reasons, factions. Okay. One is factions among the various groups, the nobles in the court of the Mughal emperor. Faction. And why these factions were there? See, some of the nobles were Afghanis, somewhere Turkish, somewhere Iranian, Persian. right? And that is why everyone wanted to have the significant say, have a significant say in the say of the emperor. That is why this difference, factionalism. Or if factionalism, how did they turn into a reason of decline of Mughal? कान भरना जिसे बोलते हैं, they used to tell anything to the emperor, do not do that, do not trust these people, they used to do not trust him. So this kind of activities was done. So internally they did not become a very strong bunch of people to administer. Second reason is rise, many of the able sardars, they went away from this emperor and they established an autonomous kingdom. So rise of autonomous kingdoms, in terms of Hyderabad. You have Marathas establishing themselves, the Hyderabad coming forward, the Awadh region coming. We'll see. Just ab itna likh ke rakho ki such as Hyderabad, you have Awadh. They started to Bengal. They started to just treat Mughal emperors ki ha aap gaddi pe ho, but we will not listen to you. We will not listen to you. And when they were requesting for support, they were not supporting, right? This is one thing. And the fourth and the third and the foremost important thing was the Jagirdari crisis. What is that? The Jagirdari crisis. You write whatever I am writing. What is this? Jagirdari crisis. Now, what is this Jagirdari crisis? Jagirdari crisis. See, when this Mughal emperor used to rule, so what happened was, instead of giving any cash, they used to give Jagir. What does Jagir means? A place, a piece of land. So this was known as Jagir. And the one whom this Jagir was given was known as Jagirdar. So when this, so what the Jagirdar's role was? Jagirdar's role was to collect the revenue, from that place, and give some of the portion to the emperor, and give some of the portion, keep some, and also provide the emperor some military support, in times when needed. Okay? In times when needed. So this was the important task of a Jagirdar. Now why this crisis became, why this Jagirdari? Now what happened? Whosoever used to come to the emperor, he used to say that, yes, now you are a Jagirdar. Now you are a Jagirdar. Give us military support. Now many Jagirdars were created. But so he became a Jagirdar. 5 Jagirdar, 10 Jagirdar. But the Jagirs was how many? Single. So less Jagir and n number of Jagirdar. So this created a fight amongst these Jagirdars only, and even a distrust feeling amongst the Jagirdars. Understood? So what is this Jagirdari crisis about? This created an economic scarcity in the region. Supply is more than demand. No, this is not the right term, I guess. Economic crisis was created due to the Jagirdari crisis. So these are the reasons why the Mughal decline started. Okay. Everybody understood what were the reasons? Yes, write a question for your, write a question. The decline of Mughal, the decline of Mughal was more internal than external. The decline of Mughal was more due to internal reasons than external reasons. Comment. You have to comment on this statement. What is the question? Can anyone write in the comment section so that everybody knows what the actual question is? The decline of Mughal was more due to internal reasons than the external reasons. Comment. Everybody understood what are the different reasons for this? The decline of Mughals was more due to internal reasons than external. Thank you, Deepak. Yeah, I guess Deepak has given given it. Now we have seen that one of the reasons was the weak personalities of Mughals after Aurangzeb. So now let us go into dwell into the personal personalities of this Mughal. Let us see some of the rulers very fast after the Mughals. Mughal rulers, we will be seeing Mughal rulers as to who these Mughal rulers were there and some of the important developments during this Mughal. See, first was the Bahadur Shah. Everybody understood till now what we have covered? Very very easy, not much of a, I guess, yes, ultra clear. Thank you. Even if you did not understand a single thing, you just have to ask in the, sir, we have to explain, we have to explain what is the question. Pratiksha has, sir, here we have to explain both the reasons now. Firstly external and then explain how external are more, or what should be the approach. Pratiksha, this is a question that I give for homework. Write whatever you understood from the question. Yes, sir, and your trick is working. Crisp notes. Yes, that is what I am telling. Do not make, see, one lecture, one page, bas. Write kitna chota, kitna bada, kuch bhi. But write in, make 5-6 lines, make small what you call round system. Write that what we are learning reasons for decline. Personal centric one, again 3 parts are there, 3 parts, 1 word each. That will help you. Regarding the question that Pratiksha asked regarding, sir, how to approach, I guess approach, first step is you try it. Tomorrow when we'll come to that, first 4 to 5 minutes we'll give on how did we write that, because if I explain you now, you will not try it. Okay. We'll dwell into some of the personalities or some of the Mughal emperors after Aurangzeb. Dekhte hain what in book do we have about this Mughal emperor. Now first, after death of Mr. Aurangzeb, we had this Bahadur Shah, jinka naam tha Shah Alam, Shah-e-Bekhabar. When people used to call him Shah-e-Bekhabar because they did not have, sir, can we post our answers for verification? But yes, write a good answer, write in a blank paper, write on a blank paper which has a margin. Do not write outside the margin. Make sure that the question is on the front page, on the upside. Write in a very good handwriting. Make sure that you use introduction, the body part, the conclusion, these elements in your answer, so that you're writing in the final examination. Give it a try, send it on the post it on the groups, post it on the group. ठीक है? You know, one thing, शर्माओगे तो रह जाओगे. This is very, very true. If you shy away from showing it off what you have on your table, then you will remain back. Whatever you're trying, whatever answer you're writing, give it for checking, or show it to your mentors, or give post it on the group, so at least your whosoever you are studying with, they can see the answers what you have written. Okay, trying is a must. Bahadur Shah, so he was known as Shah-e-Bekhabar. People used to call him Shah-e-Bekhabar, right? And not a very long period of time did he enjoy. He did not have very strong policies against the different dynasties as Aurangzeb. A pacifist policy. What is Sir Deshmukhi, sir? Sir Deshmukhi, the Chauts, the Deshmukhi, we will see when we will learn about the Marathas in detail. Okay? The Marathas in detail. It is one of the rights. It is one of the rights that the Marathas got from the neighbor rulers to collect the taxes. That we will be seeing. Okay? Do not worry about that, Anurag. So after Bahadur Shah was a very lenient kind of a ruler. He remained in power like for 3 to 4 years, and after his death, Jahandar Shah became the ruler, whose also rule was just for 1 or 2 years, and he introduced the Ijara system. Right? What this Ijara system means? Revenue farming kind of a system. Revenue farming kind of a system it was. Ijara system is a revenue farming to improve the financial condition of the empire. And he abolished Zajia. What is Zajia? A tax which is paid by the non-Muslim people. It is a tax which was paid by the taxes on the non-Muslim or who did not follow Islamic culture. Okay. Earlier they used to Aurangzeb had this Zajia in place, but during this Jahandar Shah, he did not have Zajia. He abolished. Also, it was abolished after the Jahandar Shah. After Jahandar Shah, who was there? Farooq Siyar. He also was a very tolerant person, but he was killed. He was killed by the Sayyid brothers. He was killed by the Sayyid brothers. You can read in detail about this on wherever you find. But yes, Sayyid brothers, they were the kingmakers. Then as they found out that he was incapable, then they dethroned Farooq Siyar. He was blinded and he was killed. Okay. Then after that came the Rangila Raja, the Muhammad Shah, who ruled for a very long period of time, because he was very small when he was made the ruler. He was very small, right? For 29 years, he was the emperor, but he did not trust anybody. And that is why the nobles, he used to listen to nobles. And that is why he indulged in many of the bad activities, the drinking and all. And during this time, Nadir Shah invaded, and this is how the Mughal Empire got very much weakened. And after that, the rulers were like, they were very much incapable. Alamgir and Shah Alam II. This Shah Alam II was at the very, very lowest. Because during this time he made such a bad alliances and fought with the Britishers that he had to sign the Treaty of Allahabad with the Britishers, where he was himself kept in the prison. This Shah Alam II. So this is a picture of the Treaty of Allahabad. Treaty of Allahabad that was made, and from here that the treaty, this battle of Buxar जो होता है in 1764, the battle of Buxar happens, and this is the time that the Britishers now, they are imposing a treaty on the Mughal, the Emperor of India. And this is when you see that the establishment of British rule in India starts. The dominance, yes, very nice. The dominance of Britishers starts in India. Then you have many rulers after the Shah Alam also. You have Akbar too. You have Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal in India, where 1857 revolt. Do you remember? Mangal Pandey, he started a revolt, uprising, right? Mangal Pandey, 1857 revolt. There, during that revolt, this soldiers, the sepoys, where they go to the Red Fort, and they proclaim Bahadur Shah, the emperor. जो emperor बस नाम के लिए जो होते हैं, during that time they proclaim him as their leader. So you see that even during the 1857, the people in India, they termed Mughal emperor as their leaders, right? So the significance of Mughal did not stop in 1750s. It was there till 1857. It was there till 1857. Right? So this causes also we have seen shifting alliances of Zamindari, Jagirdari crisis, regional aspirations, the Deccan crisis, the rise of regional states. This we have seen. Okay. Till now, have you understood everything? Yes. So we'll stop it here today. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll go through some of the regional states in a very short time. Their important features we will be seeing: Hyderabad, Marathas, the Sikh, the Rajputs. This we will be seeing. We'll also dwell into the Britishers now, how they are establishing their rule, right? Important battles, Plassey, Buxar, and their movement into South India, the frontiers, and this we will be seeing. Sir, can you please explain the difference between Subadars and Jagirdars? See, Subadars means the one who is sent over there. He's someone such as a governor who is appointed as a minister, in their own empire. That is Subedar. And Jagirdar, what Jagirdar means, he is a person who has some kind of a military with him. He is given some kind of a collection responsibility, of collecting the revenue, and after collecting the revenue, he will keep some revenue with him and give some to the empire. Also with that, he will provide some military services. So this is Jagirdari, right? Zamindari means a big landlord who has some kind of a good name, and he is given some responsibility to it is just a revenue collecting responsibility means Zamindari. If it is added with some kind of military responsibility, that is Jagirdari. And only if it is military responsibility, that is Mansabdari. Okay, that is Mansabdari. Well, the question is, Zamindar pay to Jagirdar? No. Zamindars are totally different than Jagirdars. Okay, Soma? Sir, please share tomorrow's PDF as early as possible, then we can read it. Okay, fine. As soon as class timing will be same, 6:15. Okay, so we'll stop it here. I have given you a question. Do read it. Do write it. And whatever, if you have, see, in class only you can ask n number of questions. There is no stop to it. There is no stopping it. Just make sure you understand the concepts very, very clear. Okay? So we'll stop it here. Okay, thank you. I hope you have understood whatever have taught we have in the lecture itself, right? Yeah. So thank you. And yes, do post the summaries in the group. Do post whatever notes summary you have taken of the class in the group itself. The summaries, the answer, whatever. Let others read it. Yes, let others read it. Okay. Okay. Chalo then. Thank you. Have a nice sleep. Good night. Can we make synopsis? Yes, you can make synopsis. Why can't you make? You can write answer. Try to make it only one page. This is synopsis. Synopsis is short. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Not an issue, Anurag. Whenever you are okay, take care of your health, everybody. Yeah, take care of your health, everybody. Make sure that you're safe, and you're also making others safe by being good to your health. Thank you.